All right, folks, welcome back. If it's your first time here, please pause and hit the like and subscribe button for more videos on J. Stevens Arms and J. Stevens Arms Company guns. I'll try to answer some questions in this collecting mystery that is Stevens. So what you're seeing right here is an extension of the standard 180. Okay. This is a special order model 185 that came out of the custom shop in J. Stevens Arms and Tool. Okay, there was the 185, the 190, and 195. This is the only known example of a 185 in collector's knowledge anyway. That doesn't mean there's not more out there, but this is the only known one. There are no known examples of the 190 or 195. With each progressive number, you get an upgrade in furniture, different attributes, different features of your standard 180. Now, all your special order models, the 185, 190, 195, only came in 12 gauge, and they only came in 32-inch barrels. As you can see, this one has a solid rib barrel, and it's also octagon to round. I'm not going to find that on too many Stevens. There are a few. As you can see, the checkering pattern is a fine checkering pattern. It extends almost all the way up into the profile here, which is the same as on the standard, just has your hand checkering here. Both the standard model 180 and the special order series 185, 190, 195 were color case hardened. You can see evidence of what they call the Stevens tiger stripe here. Now, what that had to do with how those patterns were achieved had more to do with how you dropped the receiver in the tank. If you dropped it this way, it would push the water out to the sides, and the water would come rushing back and splash on the sides, and that would cause this rippling effect. Okay. If you just dropped it in the tank, the quench tank, on the flats, you would have more of a blotchy pattern all over. Let's move up here in the forearm. This is your standard 180 forearm. It's still hand checkered, but of course it's much more elaborate pattern. Extends way beyond into the foregrip here. Now, as you can see, this is a dealing edge release on the forearm. It came standard on all the special order models. Your standard had a through bolt with a brass washer or esham, and it was a snap-on fore end. The spring here will correspond to this hook here, okay? As you can see, there's still some evidence of the color case hardening here. Now, these numbers here are not any sort of serial numbers. They're called batch or bin numbers, and that's how Stevens used to keep track of their parts in the factory. Now, your special order guns will all have serial numbers, even though your standard guns did not, okay? Let's see if we can get this fore end off for you guys. There we go. So you can see that color case hardening there. Now, as you can see, on this hook here, even though these were made 1 year apart, okay, this gun is probably a 1904 and 1905. This is going to be probably a 1906 to 1911, or I'm sorry, 1906 to 1908. Sorry, something stuck in my throat. As you can see, the hook here is followed in an opposite direction. Now that corresponds to your dealing edge latch here, okay? That hook fits down around there, and when you lift this up, it allows for it to detach. Swing back down here. Now in your standard model, the grip cap looks the exact same, correct? This is your, what they call a hard rubber grip cap, the precursor to plastics. This is a horn grip cap, okay? This is all original condition here. It hasn't been messed with at all, as are both of these receivers. Now, let's go bring it down just a hair. As you can see, that sight bead there, that's an ivory sight bead. You could pick your sight beads. You could pick a middle if you did want it on the 185, but it came standard on the 190 and 195. On your standard model 180, it just had a steel bead at the end. Your standard did not have a solid rib. Now all your standard number 180s hammers were fit with what Stevens called an automatic ejector, as was this gun, the 185. Now I'm not going to take that apart right now because I'm just working with one hand and I don't want to drop it or anything. Okay, but it pretty much looks the same as this here, okay? Let's get a better shot of that octagon to round barrel there. So you can see the transition into there. Now the 185 was the base model of the Special Order series. As I said, each regressive number included more detail, more elaborate furniture, engraving. The 190 had engraving in here, some in the trigger guard, and up in here near the top lever. The 195 was fully engraved, beautifully engraved. Had a teardrop here with a checkering pattern that outlined the teardrop and then came back down, the same fine line checkering. The 195 also had engraving up here at the breech, had a solid rib barrel and 32-inch 12 gauge. As I said, they only came in 12 gauge. Both your standard model 180 hammerless and your 185 pretty much came out because of the burgeoning trap shooting and skeet shooting trend in the United States in the early 1900s. I wanted to show you some of the differences. Let me move this barrel out of the way. As I said, even though these guns are only a year apart and might be in the same year, there's no Stevens records because of a huge factory fire. So any records that they did have were long ago lost. But as you can see, that roll stamp is J. Stevens A&T Company. It's still Chicopee Falls, and it's patent applied for. Okay, and that means it hasn't got its number back, otherwise it would be on here. Now, if you can see this one here, it's J. Stevens Arms and Tool Company. Okay, sometime around 1904, 1905 transition period, they were using two roll stamps at the same time. So dating a gun just by the roll stamp on your receiver is not accurate. You'll have to take the totality of everything to come up with an approximate date. You're not going to be able to come up with, you know, what day and month, stuff like that, like you would get with a Colt or Winchester, something like that, unfortunately. And at the time, Stevens was the largest gun manufacturer in the world, manufacturing over 28 different single barrel shotguns in one time period. A lot of these guns included guns for other companies, what they call trademark or brand names, hardware store guns. They would manufacture with the name Hercules, Riverside Arms, which was their base, I guess, base or budget series. Let's see, what else did I need? This is your hook here that would cock the hammerless, of course. And of course, this is your radii that fits in your hinge pin there. You can see some of the original Stevens Tiger Strike there. Let's see. Oh, that's got a good pattern to it. This one here, I do have to take care of this crack that's forming there. But I think otherwise I'm just going to clean this up and leave it original. I might bring this out a little bit, but still keep all the patina that I can. As I said, this is the only existing number 185. Let's smooth this around a bit. Now, as you can see, this trigger guard is different than this one. This one is a little more proud of the wood furniture. And it's also longer. Now in the 195, this trigger guard extends down farther because it's engraved, okay? You don't see the comb features in a lot of the singles these days, and you certainly don't see the attention to detail that these guns had. Unfortunately, a lot of times these guns get lumped into the farm gun, the utility, the truck gun category. That's just not the case, especially with the Special Order series, the 185, the 190, and 195. Now the 195 priced out at $100, 1904, when they came out. During this time, they were actually competing with some of the English best guns in Birmingham Square. And many people actually regarded them a little bit better, at least here in the States, because of the sturdiness, some of the assembly line productions that you ended up with more uniform parts that you could replace if something broke. On an all handmade gun, that's very hard to do, okay? So a lot of people in the States would opt, even though they could afford an English best gun, they would opt for something such as this or a Baker, something like that, okay? Let's see if we can flip this over so you can get a look at the other side without banging it around. There's your top lever there. You can see some of the original case underneath the lever. Here's your safety. And we're gonna bang it around a little bit. There you can see some more of the original. The same detail on this side and as the other. Let me explain this. On your 180s, this is going to fit into your, excuse me, your fore-end iron there. Let me get this flip back over. As you can see, it's a non-glare solid rib as well. So it just clicks back on there. I got the blanket there caught up in it. But as you can see, they're fine guns. This is only part of my 180 collection. I actually have another standard 180 that has almost pristine color case hardening. It's a beautiful 16 bore. This gun here is a 20 bore. This is a 12 bore. Okay. This barrel is to that gun there, as is this fore end. And all these guns owe their lineage to the number 140 J. Stevens Armament tool, which is also a very rare gun. You're not gonna find them in decent condition. I've seen a few, but man, they're like hen's teeth. On the 140, you had a mechanism on your fore end that allowed you to change, or not, it allowed you to change the between an extractor and a automatic ejector, what Stevens called an automatic ejector. You didn't have it on the Special Order series. You would think they would put all those features on there, because I think it was a good feature to be able to switch between the two. But as I said, with trap shooting, and that's what this gun was specifically made for, that crowd, and I guess the more well-to-do crowd, the automatic safety was, or the automatic ejector was a huge thing. Oh, these are both automatic safety, so once you pull the trigger, it's gonna reset, and you'll have to slide that safety again to shoot. A lot of people hate that. It doesn't bother me one bit. Let's see. I think I went over this in the first part. Of course, this is your top lever. This is your top lever cam, your locking block or sliding block. This is your trigger spring, trigger assembly here. This is your inline hammer, trigger spring. You would have a through bolt that goes through the stock, going that way. Okay. Let me get a shot of the horn butt plate. This one doesn't have one at the moment because I was doing some work on it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and enjoyed getting a chance to talk to you about my 185, and hope you learned something. Be sure to stay tuned. I'll bring out some more guns. I'll bring out the 180 I was talking about, the standard 180 with the pristine color case hardening. The stock on it's pretty much in very good to excellent condition on it. As I said, it's a 16 bore. I'll bring out the number 140, which was the first hammerless design for the company. I'll bring out the 181 at some point. Some of the different models. And I hope you enjoyed, guys. Stay tuned. Please like and subscribe. Also check out the tool review videos. I'll be doing a tool review of some boring bars later on today, and I hope to get those uploaded for you. So you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.